Okay, good morning. I'm back starting a new book, Exodus. So, Exodus chapter 1. The Israelites in Egypt. These are the sons of Jacob, who went with their father to Egypt, each with his family: Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Ishkar, Zebulon, sorry. Benjamin, please forgive me how I pronounce these. Dan, Naphtali, I really like that name, Naphtali. Gad, Asher. Joseph was already down in Egypt. In all, Jacob had 70 direct descendants. Wow. In time, Joseph and each of his brothers died, ending that generation, but their descendants had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so quickly that they soon filled the land. Then a new king came to the throne of Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. He told his people, "These Israelites are becoming a threat to us because there are so many of them. We must find a way to put an end to this. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemies and fight against us." Excuse me. Then they will escape from the country. Excuse me. So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves and put brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down under heavy burdens. They forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramses as supply centers for the king. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more quickly the Israelites multiplied. Oh. The Egyptians soon became alarmed and decided to make their slavery more bitter still. They were ruthless with the Israelites, forcing them to make bricks and mortar and work long hours in the fields. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives. Shifra, and Pow? When you help the Hebrew women give birth, kill all the boys as soon as they are born. Oh my. Allow only the baby girls to live. But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king. Oh, good for you. And allowed the boys to live too. Then the king called for the midwives. "Why have you done this?" he demanded. "Why have you allowed the boys to live?" "Sir," they said, "the Hebrew women are very strong. They have their babies so quickly we cannot get there in time. They are not slow in giving birth like Egyptian women." So God blessed the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave his order to all his people: "Throw all the newborn Israelite boys into the Nile River, but you may spare the baby girls." Excuse me. Exodus chapter 2. The birth of Moses. During this time, a man and woman from the tribe of Levi got married. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw what a beautiful baby he was and kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she got a little basket made of papyrus, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, reeds, and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the edge of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance watching to see what would happen to him. Soon after this, one of the Pharaoh's daughters came down to bathe in the river, and her servant girls walked along the riverbank. When the princess saw the little basket among the reeds, she told one of the servant girls to get it to her. As the princess opened it, she found the baby boy. His helpless cries touched her heart. "He must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Then the baby's sister approached the princess. "Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked. "Yes, do," the princess replied. So the girl rushed home and called the baby's mother. "Take this child home and nurse him for me," the princess told her. "I will pay you for your help." So the baby's mother took her baby home and nursed him. Later, when he was older, the child's mother brought him back to the princess, who adopted him as her son. The princess named him Moses, for she said, "I drew him out of the water." Moses escapes to Midian. Many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his people, the Israelites, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of the Hebrew slaves. After looking around to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and then buried him in the sand. The next day, as Moses was out visiting his people again, he saw two Hebrew men fighting. "What are you doing, hitting your neighbor like that?" Moses said to the one on the wrong. "Who do you think you are?" the man replied. "Who appointed you to be our prince and judge? Do you plan to kill me as you killed that Egyptian yesterday?" Moses was totally badly frightened because he realized that everyone knew what he had done. And sure enough, when the Pharaoh heard about it, he gave orders to have Moses arrested and killed. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and escaped to the land of Midian. When Moses arrived in Midian, he sat down beside a well, and now it happened that the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came regularly to this well to draw water and fill the water troughs for their father's flock. But other shepherds would often come and chase the girls and their flocks away. This time, however, Moses came to their aid, rescuing the girls from the shepherds. Then he helped them draw water for their flocks. When the girls returned to rule, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, their father, he asked, "How did you get the flock's water so quickly today?" "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds," they said, "and then he drew water for us and watered our flocks." "Well, where is he then?" their father asked. "Did you just leave him there? Go and invite him home for a meal." Moses was happy to accept the invitation, and he settled down to live with them. In time, Reuel gave Moses one of his daughters, Zipporah, to be his wife. Later, they had a baby boy, and Moses named him Gershom. For he said, "I have been a stranger in a foreign land." Years passed, and the king of Egypt died, but the Israelites still groaned beneath their burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and their pleas for deliverance rose up to God. God heard their cries and remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on the Israelites and felt deep concern for their welfare. Okay, and with that, I'll be back later with Exodus chapter 3.